Hello, music fans, music collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I'm your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490 AM.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program from the acclaimed Southern rock band and alternative band, Greye. I welcome in acclaimed drummer, Ray Grimard. Ray, great to have you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Nice to be here.
My pleasure, Ray. And, I figure I begin with the basics. Your love for music. How did you get involved with the drums and all that?
Oh boy, that's a pretty loaded question. I guess music, like for anything, is sort of it's a double-edged sword. It's a blessing and it's an absolute curse. I've been playing drums for a long time, and originally I was ironically inspired to play drums from watching the Partridge Family as a young kid, and I thought, that'd be cool to do. And the rest, I guess, is rhythmic history, if you would. I've been playing ever since, and continue to play.
And, reading about your career, Ray, I heard Hamilton from Aerosmith had a big impact on your life, right, early on. Tommy
Hamilton. Yeah. And, originally I'm from New England, so, the Aerosmith legacy was pretty rich in the area I grew up in. I'm from Manchester, New Hampshire, and, they had really... Aerosmith had formed essentially out of Sunapee, New Hampshire, with Steven Tyler, and I guess Joe Perry had gone up there, and Tyler was working someplace. But anyways, I would say the first Aerosmith record was the first album I ever owned, and there was the Dream On record that they had done, and from that point on, I really liked Hamilton because he never overplayed, but boy, he played some grooves that they're timeless. You listen to anything they've done, off of any of their records, and absolutely, at least in the beginning, he was one of my biggest influences.
Oh, no doubt about it. Definitely a legend. And, give my audience here, Ray, a little background on the band Greye, its members. How did you get ushered in? Give us all that information.
Well, it's kind of an ironic journey. The band really was formed in Daytona Beach, Florida. I moved down here years ago, and I currently live in North Carolina now, but I had lived in Daytona, and I had a studio in Daytona, and there was a talent show at a local high school, Seabreeze High School, the high school that had their alumni included the Allman Brothers, the Florida Georgia Line, Brian Kelly, and so on and so forth. So they said, "Hey, can you come to this talent show and see this band?" And I said, "I didn't really want to go." And it was mixing another band in the studio. I said, "You know what? The hell with it. I'm going to go." So I went and watched these kids, and they were kids. They were 14, 15, and 16, I think they were at the most, and they played for this talent show. And I was really impressed. They should have won, but like any other talent show, a lot of times they're fixed and so on. There's favorites that are going to be done. But I looked at them and I said, wow, there's something really there with these guys. So I contacted them and I said, hey, did you guys ever play with the drummer? Because they were a three-piece that basically played acoustic songs. And I said, God, and they didn't look up. They looked down on the stage. And I said, if you guys ever want to play with the drummer, I said, come by the studio and jam. And I said, and then eventually, if you like playing with the drummer, we'll find you a drummer. The last thing I wanted to do was get in another band, seriously. And they came by, and we did jam. And 15 years later, we're still together. 7 albums, probably over 1,000 shows. Hannah's been in the band half her life, literally. She's been in it since she was 15, and she's 30 now. So,
wow. Yeah, Hannah Summer, the lead vocalist, what a voice. All of you, Jett Wolfe on guitar, you on drums, Ray Grimard, and Kenny Williams, keyboard, and Tommy Brady on bass. All fascinating talent. Do you guys all get along? Any conflicts? Any, recording, rehearsing, traveling? Because, you guys are like a team, or you guys mesh well.
Yeah, well, yeah, and of course, because you spend enough time with anybody through the years, it's like family, essentially. And, I mean, any band that stays together, past, the first year or 2 or 3, because you really have to stay together if you want to have any kind of longevity and mean anything. You've got to weather the storms. And have there been storms? Sure. When everybody has a strong personality, you've got a group of all alpha personalities that have to find a common ground to do stuff. But I'll tell you, I've never one time gone on stage and never trusted them to do absolutely the best work. And Hannah is a phenom. I mean, I think she's as good as anybody in the game, period. I think she's one of those kids. She has a background in Broadway, so her acoustic projection is just immense. And Jett is a virtuoso player. And, so I mean, you have to look. And have we had our time? Sure we have. But we've never broken up. The band has stayed true to each other. We've gone through it. I mean, in all the trials and tribulations, that happen, marriages, deaths, so on and so forth in our respective families, and we've always been there for each other. And I think at the end of the day, that's what's really going to matter if Grey's going to have an impact on the world.
Yeah, and I want to mention the site. The site is greymusic.com. Now, Greye is Greye, spelled that way. Greymusic.com is the website, and there we can find all your tours, your upcoming events, and so on. And, for my listening audience, Ray, who may not be aware, 2025 Josie Music Awards, Southern Rock Band of the Year, you guys were nominated #1 band.
Yeah, and we won it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and we were in complete shock. I mean, the manager had submitted our stuff. I mean, we didn't know what the Josie Awards, what was really much of it. We knew that it was an award show out of Nashville, and it's sort of like for people who aren't on major labels, independent labels like we're on, it's sort of like the Grammy equivalent to it. And so we went to Nashville. We had the worst seats. We were up in like the nosebleed section of the Grand Ole Opry, which holds almost 5,000 people. And so we just went because hey, we were nominated, and they had over 80,000 entries, and we went, and then all of a sudden we won, and we didn't even know how to get to the stage, Brian. It was like a scene out of Spinal Tap, where they're in Cleveland and they can't find it. And literally, we ended up outside, and somebody who was also called in a different category said, "Hey, are you guys supposed to go up the stage?" And they said, "Come with us." And ironically, Hannah lost us. She falls down the stairs on another section, and we're going up on stage. And I says to Jett, going up on stage, Hannah's not with us at this point. And I said, Jett, you're gonna speak, and I says, and don't sound dumb. And then all of a sudden, we saw Hannah. She comes in from the back of the auditorium and runs down, and we made it on stage. But you can't write this script,
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, winning an award like that high, being #1, you must have a lot of jealousy in your industry, in your profession. I mean, you guys are on top.
Yeah, and the thing about it is we've the rock world is so diluted now. Everybody has a subcategory. When I was growing up, you were either a rock band or you weren't. You listened on the radio and you could hear. I mean, you'd hear the Four Tops, you'd hear the Spinners, you'd hear the Stones, everybody was lumped together, especially on AM, and that's gone now, and everybody's broken down into a subcategory. So at some point, because people ask us all the time, well, what kind of music do you play? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess we just play music. And I said, well, you know what? We're a band out of the South, and we play our own style of music. And our origins in Daytona come from this, the Allman Brothers and all those, and the those people. And I said, then we're just a Southern rock band, and we're going to do our version of a Southern rock band. And then we said, okay, we're Southern rock, the new era. And that's what it is. And we go head to head with all the Leonard Skinner fans and all the, all the Outlaw fans. I mean, they all came out of Florida. And what they're not realizing is we're not taking anything away from those guys. They built a legacy. We're just a new version, and it's time for a new version, and people finally are gravitating.
No, it's definitely time for a new version. We're going to play a little clip of one of your tracks so we can give the listening audience a taste. But, I mean, you guys develop your own style. I hear it listening to your music. I mean, it's your own style. I mean, Hannah's voice is totally, she's on a plateau on her own. There's no other sound like that.
No, I mean, and she really is, and it's 100% organic. I mean, it's just hard work and it's tenacity. I mean, Hannah writes all the lyrics of every song. Hannah writes all the lyrics, and she's sort of the laureate. You know, she's very bright, and she's articulate, and sometimes her imagery, we've got to bring her back and say, Hannah, how about the regular person understanding what the hell you're talking about here? But, other than that, I mean, she's magnificent like that. And Jett is just, I don't know, he's a virtuoso. And when I met these guys, they had very little music exposure because they were young, and I exposed them to everything I wanted to do, and, including, a lot of my, strengths are really what I'm really interested in. I'm a progressive guy. I like the Yes people of the world. I like Genesis. I like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I liked all of the stuff I couldn't really play very well. I loved Rush, and I exposed them to that. So that's why there's this collective amalgamation and bizarre package that is Greye.
And, you mentioned Genesis and you mentioned these other bands, Ray. Your early influences, who in the drums inspired you to be who you are?
Well, I think probably the Alan Whites, Bill Bruford of Yes, Carl Palmer, Phil Collins, Hamilton, those guys. And anybody who played on the Motown stuff or the Stax records, or guys out in California, with the Wrecking Crew, Hal Blaine's of the world. I mean, they figured it out. They figured out how to play without being obnoxious.
And Ray, a lot of people will put John Bonham as number one of all time. And, I'm too young to have seen John Bonham. I don't know if you agree with that, being a drummer. Do you think he's the top best of all time?
Well, I think you see these things, who's the GOAT, of playing in it. I mean, they're all good in what they do in their genre. John Bonham, nobody can take away what he did. He had the feet, and he had those great triplets that everybody replicated. Neil Peart had his own thing. You look at Stuart Copeland of the Police. I mean, there's so many monster drummers out there who played. I mean, Terry Bozzio, anybody who played with Frank Zappa. I mean, these guys were just monster. Dave Weckl. So no, I would say there is no greatest drummer of all times. I mean, because then you'd have to go back to the Buddy Riches and the Gene Kroupers and those guys. Everybody who was great at doing what they did at their time is it. I mean, it's like saying, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback that ever lived? Well, probably statistically now he's going to be until somebody else comes along.
You're absolutely right. I mean, even Ringo Starr, he doesn't get mentioned much, but he's definitely up there.
Sure.
You got to put him up there.
You definitely do, and Ringo, he was at best an average drummer, but he played the effective parts that he needed to be, and he's the wealthiest drummer in the world. So, Dave Grohl, same thing.
All right, so we're gonna play a little sample. The song is called Underdog. Let's hear it now on KMET Radio.
Car slow. I like my ventures risky. I like my prospects poor. What being also ran
And you just heard Underdog, a track by the band Greye. With us is Ray Grimard, drummer of the band. I mean, what a potent, energetic track, Ray. Great stuff. I mean, unbelievable.
Thank you.
Now,
Definitely.
This song was released in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, on the album 7, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
How is this song put together? Can you give us some background on it?
Yeah. Of this record, I mean, this is our 7th record, so we decided to call it 7. And excuse me, but we're in a continuous writing phase. Like right now, we're finishing up what will be the finishing tracks to the 8th record now. And Underdog is going to be used in a movie that's coming out. We're doing the soundtrack for a movie that's coming out, and when I get more information, I'll let you know. But and Underdog is a summation of everything. I mean, you try to make it in this business, everybody gets in your way. Everybody has the silver bullet to success, and there isn't one. It's just a matter of tenacity. And so when we write a record, we write the record. Jett and I, and probably the bass player or the keyboard player come in. Jett and I will write the music, get a complete song, give it to Hannah. She does the lyrics and puts the melody and comes back, and we've got it. We rehearse. We go in the studio. We rent it for one day. Get the engineer in there. Go up to Nashville, record it, and then we're done. And bring it back. And Brian Reeves, who's mixed everybody, mixes it for us and send it out to the world to our distributors.
I mean, this is very important for the listening audience. If they're interested in buying this album, where can they go? Give us all your social media platforms, webpage, etc. Give it all to us.
Just go to greymusic.com, like Brian said, Greye music.com. All our social media is at Greye Music. The website has links to buy any of these records. Where you can stream them. You can go to Spotify or however they do it now. But that's it. At Greye Music is all the platforms, and greymusic.com is the band's website. And if you have a question, just write directly to the website.
And Ray, I got a few minutes left with you. I want to get a couple more in, if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your creative process. This always interests me, and your style. And, it always interests me with drummers. For you, what came first to you? Was it rhythm or the kit?
You mean in general?
In general.
I think it's always been the groove. And it's something that if you're lucky enough that you've got the innate rhythm to do something, because it's hard to teach somebody, to have groove or understand it. And I think it's something if you're lucky enough to get that, then the groove is everything. And of course, like every other drummer, we've learned mostly how to drum the most once we turned 16 and we could drive, and then the drum set became the steering wheel, and you played to everything that came on the radio. Everything. It didn't matter. You drove everybody in the car nuts. My mother, now my wife, because you can't stop yourself. It's like I said in the beginning. It's essentially a curse. But Jett will come in and he'll have a lick, or I'll have a pattern that I want to play, and Jett will fill it in. And then we have done this so long, Brian, that we've probably played live over 1,000 shows. And in the studio, I mean, even in the beginning when we were playing out a lot, we still rehearsed 5 hours a week, two and a half. We rehearsed every Sunday and every Tuesday night. Didn't matter. It didn't matter what we were doing. We still rehearsed. So there's this innate ability to know what each other are going to play. Probably the same thing, with bands like the Stones or Aerosmith or any of these bands that have been around a long time. Eventually, it becomes like riding a bike,
Yeah, and Ray, you mentioned an important word there, groove, because, one of the hardest things for drummers to build a groove that serves the song instead of just showing off your talent or your technique.
Right. No,
that's a hard thing to do.
That's an excellent point. And really the person that taught me that, because I watched an interview years ago, was with Ringo Starr. And Ringo had said, and it was Ringo that really he put that in my brain. He said, you have to play till you support the vocals. So really, I support Hannah at all times. It's never about showcasing licks. I mean, you can look at Charlie Watts, 50 years playing with the Stones, and he played the same pattern all the way to the bank. And the guy was a phenomenal swing drummer. You know, a big band swing drummer, but he never needed to showcase that. I think, and I see that a lot with young drummers, is they'll overplay. They'll overplay because they don't get their job. They're the machine. They're part of the machine. You know, they're not the machine. And I think you're spot on when you say that.
Yeah, and Ray, I've interviewed several drummers on the program, and a question that I always like to ask is, what is the hardest part keeping your stamina during long tours, recording sessions, because it takes a lot out of you?
Oh yeah, no, it's physical. You have to take care of yourself. When we play 2-hour shows, 3-hour shows, we play 4-hour shows, and our music is pretty driving, and I play pretty hard. It's a physical activity for me. But you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to stay in shape. You've got to stay, you've got to be clear. Greye has never one time on stage had anything but water to drink. We play every single show crystal clear. And the only thing we drink is water. Maybe have a beer after the gig, but never during the show. We're not that band. We're at work. And so I think that lends it to it. And the more you do it, you don't get tired. I mean, you simply don't, because you do it all the time. You know, it's like being a pro athlete.
Right. And a question on your gear and setup, if I may. Yeah. What is your current live kit look like? Like, what's your absolute favorite piece of hardware?
Well, I play a set of EAMS, EAMES drums, which are they were built out of Boston. They're the best I've ever played. And I play a standard 5-piece with a 10, 12, and a 16 floor tom, 14-inch snare. And sometimes I'll add an 8-inch tom that goes with that. Basically, 22-inch ride, 16, 17, and 18 crashes, DW 9000 pedals, DW 9000 hi-hats, and I recently bought a new snare. The first time I've ever bought a brand new drum. I bought a Sonar SQ2 snare that took a year to come from Germany to get, and it's my favorite at the moment.
And, I used to play the percussion drums. I'm just curious, do you have any, quirky tuning secrets you use, or essential stage knickknacks, like gel mufflers, etc.?
No, well, basically all my tuning, I tune them in thirds, so it's basically A sharp, D sharp, and F, respectively with the toms. The snare's always in the C. I try to keep it the same so it complements every run that Jett does. In the studio, sometimes I'll use they're like these pieces of cloth that go over that kind of just dead it, so you get the attack more. But no, live. Sometimes I'll put little mufflers on them. But no, pretty much I play open and I play hard.
And Ray, final question. We have a lot of drummers around the country listening to the show. What advice do you have, if any, for young drummers just starting out, wanting to get behind a real kit? Any advice you can share with them?
Yep. Play everything. Play every kind of music you can. If you like it, it's going to be a curse. Surrender yourself to that, because it never goes away. And practice. And just have fun. If you're not having fun, it's going to seem forced. And don't try to overplay. Play to the music, and you'll always be successful. For real.
Ray, great job. I really appreciate your time this morning. Keep up the great work, you and the band.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Ray Grimard of Greye. Until next week, happy collecting to all.